Ranger, I often hear from people, is the most boring class to play. But I'd argue that it's not the class that's boring, but the way people are playing it. Unlike Mage, whose options are often quite limited, the Ranger has a cornucopia of options at its fingertips, so much so that it can be hard to figure out what you should use, and often leads to the mistake of simply grabbing the next weapon along your all-American road to Moonlord, rather than experimenting with the potential this class provides. But that's a totally fair mistake to make, because Ranger has, if anything, too many options. So what I have done is create a secret Ranger roadmap that I think will optimally utilize Ranger's full potential and leave you wondering why you didn't give Ranger another chance. As we chop down these trees and get some initial housing set up, what you need to know about this run are two things. For one, it's not meant to be optimal. I will be attempting to prove the viability of certain weapons many have written off, while also going out of my way to use weapons that are often inferior to other weapons, or at least we assume they are, inferior to the other weapons that you can obtain at the same points of progression. However, I also don't plan on pursuing weapons that are unreliable to obtain or require hours of farming, such as the Blood Rain, Revolver, Pulse Bow, Piranha Gun, and similar weapons, even if many of those are very interesting weapons to use. The only problem is getting them is very inconsistent or overly grindy. The reasoning behind the path I have chosen is that I want to use as much as possible, make this run as repeatable as possible, and hopefully find uses for weapons people never use. So, first step, boom, make a wood bow. I guess we need to find some stone for arrows here. That it's so much faster than when I did this with Mage. You might think that with a bow in hand, it's time to head into caves to mine for an ore bow. But no, instead what I want to do is find the blowpipe, because the moment I get an ore better, or basically anything iron or above, the blowpipe becomes irrelevant. Similar to the wand of sparking, obtaining it is pretty inconsistent, but we're going to put in a good effort because there has never been a single person who ever played Terraria who went out of their way to find this weapon. Oh, Finch Staff, too bad we can't use it. We're going to play as a class purist, especially since the wood bow was obtained so early. That said, I still end up utilizing the copper short sword a bit. Okay, a wand of sparking in my second. You couldn't have done that in my 1 mana run? Okay, game, okay. Despite the abundance of wooden chests next to spawn, we didn't get a blowpipe. We even explored all the way to the tundra and hunt for this thing. We mined a bit of a hole while waiting for night to end and purchased extra torches from the merchant to craft flaming arrows. At the crack of dawn, we head to the left side of the world. You may notice from how much punishment these vultures are taking that we are in fact in master mode, because this roadmap needs to be repeatable in any difficulty. Also, I imagine the increased difficulty would provide more use cases for different weapons. We obtain a flying carpet and continue to fail finding a blowpipe. What are the odds of finding a blowpipe? We made it past the jungle and into the corruption and still no blowpipe. Oh no, no. 2 hits! Oh my goodness, guys, master mode is crazy. At this point, we're already a half hour in. The idea was that I would get the blowpipe before any more metal bows, but yeah, we might just forgo that. We're already learning early on that Ranger class is the money bags of Terraria class. To fully get your money's worth out of it, you need to invest more of your salary than anybody else. With no blowpipe in sight, we're going to simply remove it from our roadmap and skip ahead to ore bows, which means we need to get to mine. You might think we'd use a flare gun, but it's technically classless and is obviously a utility weapon with a damage number rather than an actual weapon. Ideally, we'll get a gold or platinum bow first. We could make a demon bow in theory, but that's later down the roadmap, so we aren't going to craft it yet. Lucky Ranger, bows are some of the easiest things to craft, with only 28 ore being required to get the bars for a gold bow. Say hello to Bigger House and now goodbye, because we're not going to be seeing it for a while, because just like Mage, the early game Ranger has a lot to gain from exploring this treacherous biome. Perfect. What we need are heaps of these desert fossils and an extractinator to convert them into sturdy fossils. Extractinators can be found elsewhere, but generally they are most easily found in the desert, or at least I think they are, and of course this is the only place that I can also get desert fossils. 100 damage! Whoever decided that or thought that was a good idea? Okay, maybe we're going to be seeing this house more often. Demolitionist is here now, so time to go further into debt so we can explode worms and bugs. Oh no. Ouch. Woo! Darn it! Ranger? More like, where'd my wallet go? Oh, whoa! Oh, what? Nope. Not gonna work out. We live. Yay. Oh. Desert fossils. Yay. Ouch. Oh, no, 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 no. The stupid desert. Ooh, treasure. Darn it, but we got a shell phone. Shell phone's nice. Oh, get away, get away, get away, get away, get away, get away. I'm dead. I'm so okay. We found it. Oh, and there's a rolling cactus in front of it. No, 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 no. Block, 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 block. There we go. Now we can get cooking. We spent 40 minutes in the desert, but I guess we came out of it with a chisel, shell phone, full armor, and our first underutilized ranger weapon, fossil javelins. Next step in the process is to find the snowball cannon. Perhaps not as good damage as the orb bows, but with its strong knockback and decent damage with very cheap ammunition, it's a great weapon for keeping enemies away and for preserving our more expensive arrows. Along the way, we'll collect some bone arrows from the skeleton merchant, find the snowball cannon in no time at all, and also farm flinxes because the first boss on our roadmap is Deerclops, so we can obtain the Pneumatic Horn. With Deerclops promising to be a slog, we're going to collect enough life crystals to reach full health. While we work towards that, we'll also defeat King Slime. So technically Deerclops won't be first, but King Slime isn't going to be dropping anything ranger. We just want the slimy saddle. So what are we using against King Slime? A mix of bone javelins, frostburn arrows, and grenades. Bone javelins and frostburn both inflict debuffs on King Slime for high damage over time, and the grenades are great for clearing the minions. Grenades could be used for the whole thing, but grenades are expensive and Ranger spends too much money as it is. We've also been collecting shurikens and throwing knives, neither of which we use, but throwing knives can be turned into poisonous throwing knives, so hopefully Deerclops isn't immune to poison and we can inflict her with that debuff as well. Haven't spent hardly any time on the surface at night though, so let's gather a few lenses. The last ingredients needed to craft a few deer things. Now, because of how early we're fighting Deerclops, death is an inevitability, so we're going to set up a house with a bed in the tundra. We'll also make a quick arena. My objective when fighting Deerclops is to get her off the snow blocks and onto the platforms, because if she's not on snow, she can't use the ice chunks attack. So if you bait her into doing that, then you can defeat this thing just about for free. Let's just say that's not what happened though. Oh no, this is going to go so bad. Oh no. Oh. My reward for all of this? An Pneumatic Horn. Yay! We have to fight it again! Instead of jumping into another struggle session, what would be wise is collecting something like the Blizzard in a Bottle for extra mobility during the fight. Should be as simple as doing a little more exploration in the underground tundra. Where is, my gosh darn, Blizzard in a Bottle? More ice skates! Okay, but we got Spelunker Potion. I think we're set on ice skates. We don't need another one ever again. Water walking boots. Okay, well, that's nice. Oh, metal detector, hold up. Darn life crystals. I wish life crystals were not prioritized. I don't think I've ever needed a life crystal more than a treasure chest. Apparently there's life crystals all over the place because I can't escape it on the metal detector. Get off of my rate. Oh, come on. There's another one. Life crystal perish. And another life crystal in the area. There's still more? How many life crystals are in this tundra? There's a treasure. Ice skates again? Of course, there's a life crystal nearby. Destroy it. Cuss it into the fire. Another boomerang. I am going to flip tables in righteousness. Okay, there's another chest nearby, though. Another boomerang. That hurt my voice. I'm going to flip. I am actually going to flip. More ice skates. Where is a bloody blizzard in a bottle? We're going to spend 10 hours finding this blizzard in a bottle. If it's the last thing I do. We need to do a little dance. We need to do like a prayer. Lord, you know the desires of my heart. I am but your humble instrument. Please use me, O Lord, by giving me this thing that I want, but not my will, yours be done, whatever it may be. But please let this be a blizzard in a bottle. Your will be done, Lord. Is that a blizzard in a bottle? God can say, or can answer prayer, but he can say no. Just because you don't get what you want doesn't mean he didn't answer your prayer. That said, 2 chests. Please give me another chance to get a blizzard in a bottle. Good thing we got that blizzard in a bottle. It really helped against Deerclops. No, I did not get the Pneumatic Horn, and you could say that the struggling is making me question my roadmap. Perhaps the Pneumatic Horn really should be obtained at another point in progression. It's just that Deerclops is such a weirdly designed boss. The fact that she doesn't despawn, at least not for a long time, makes her so her drops have to be weaker, so you can't get super powerful gear super early. At the same time, they are so weak that at the time they could be most easily obtained, they are no longer worthwhile. Maybe with a better setup, this would account for such an issue because a different arena helped tremendously. At the same time, I don't think any boss should be totally arena reliant, but I don't know. This video is about Ranger and playing in a way most people don't do, so to try and show the viability and use things that most people might not. Wait, what ammo does this use? Bullets? We need the arms to... I totally spaced on that fact, but no matter. It actually works pretty well that the Pneumatic Horn is the first gun in progression. Also, I think the eye and Deerclops could easily be swapped in progression, but I did it this way because I can't imagine the Pneumatic Horn being helpful for the Eater of Worlds, and there are other weapons I have in mind for Skeletron. It's a very good eye weapon though, and stronger than I thought it was. So not great, but not total garbage, I guess. With the eye killed, our roadmap permits for the use of several new weapons. We get tungsten bullets, the sand gun, demon bow, and of course Jester's arrows. This is also where we'll destroy a shadow orb and defeat the goblin army utilizing the demon bow with bone arrows I'd found, and the Pneumatic Horn primarily until I realized grenades would work even better for crowd control. Now we have the Goblin Tinkerer and everything he sells, which brings us to the Eater of Worlds, who will be using spiky balls from the goblin army against, as well as the sand gun and demon bow with Jester's arrows. Now Ranger is a pretty good class against the Eater. Jester's arrows are one of the go-to weapons against this worm. This shouldn't be difficult. Wow, sand gun is actually surprisingly weak. But I guess that's the ones that are falling. Ooh, actually, hold up. Ooh! Oh, wait, hold up. I'm taking a lot of damage here. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna lose. What? Oh, what? A lot of people fight Eater of Worlds on the surface, but I have always fought it underground. It's always worked out for me. No! Oh, come on! How am I actually struggling? What the heck? The Vile Spit, I'm pretty sure, is breakable underground, but not on the surface, making it easier, and then you can just bounce on the thing with a slime mount if you have to. I think the problem is that I'm breaking the worm into too many segments, getting overwhelmed and panicking. With the handy dandy Blood Moon, we collect a Sharktooth necklace, though. The Blood Rainbow is pretty cool, but Blood Moons are unreliable and inconsistent, so we're not going to use that weapon. One more loss against the Eater of Worlds. What is wrong with me? And we decide we'll give it a try on the surface. But not only that, we're going to curate it for the sand gun. Covering the arena with torches will make it so any sand that hits the arena will break immediately instead of creating a future obstacle. Also turns out that if you get a lucky spawn location for the worm, spiky balls will shred it. Well, that was cheesy as all get out. While live streaming this, I was also informed that ebon sand pierces infinitely. Ebon sand isn't always guaranteed, but you can often find some of it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Just be really careful using ebon sand with the sand gun, or you could end up corrupting your whole world on accident. You gotta make sure you find all the sand you shoot. But if you do find an excuse to use it, then this will happen. Ooh, wow, that does good damage. And so the Eater of Worlds falls. The first thing this opens up on the roadmap is the Shimmer, but not because it's a cool biome with some universal benefits for all classes, but because shimmering wooden arrows gets you Shimmer arrows, an arrow tied with the highest base damage in pre-hard mode. The only difference being it hits one target instead of 5, so I guess unholy arrows would have been just the better idea, but I want to use Shimmer arrows, darn it, and they have this quirk where they fly in the opposite direction of regular arrows, which I think will be helpful against the next boss, Queen Bee. Before fighting her though, we're going to collect a meteor for meteor bullets, and of course find ourselves the boomstick, and there's this one ivy chest that happens to be right down the first tunnel. It is a boomstick! Okay, the jungle's nice to me. The jungle likes me. There's nothing we really need down here, so now that we have a hive, we'll make a quick arena for Queen Bee. The weapons we'll be using are the boomstick with meteor shot, Molotov cocktails, and a demon bow with shimmer arrows. Now in hindsight, some of this should have been changed. For instance, the Molotov cocktails can be made pre-boss if you make a keg and mugs. I missed that in my research and was waiting around for the tavern keep, so Molotov cocktails should be moved to be used against Deerclops. As for the demon bow, at this point, it should just be replaced with the Molten Fury because the only reason we're battling Queen Bee is for the bee's knees, which we'll be using against Skeletron, and after Skeletron, we'll just use the Hellwing bow. Alright, let's get this thing. Wait, what? Oh, one of the hands got it. Oh, shoot. Hold up. I wasn't prepared for this. Fire. Fire! Yay, Shimmer getting some use. This was not... You really need to get those even earlier for them to really be worthwhile. Alright, easy boss. Ouch. Hopefully he drops bee knees on the first try. That would be awesome. That would be legitness. Alright, and no bee's knees. Wonderful. Bee's knees. Yes, we got it. Alright, solid. Oh, I could get Stinger Necklace if I farm Queen Bee some more. That wouldn't take too long, probably. Still, wow, alright, okay, I am... Apparently, I'm not allowed to have good luck. And... Wow, okay, okay, game. Be lame like that. Please give me the gosh darn, there it is. Oh, good. Thank you. It took long enough. This gives us the Stinger Necklace, and thinking back on it, I probably should have elected to not use it, or the Sharktooth Necklace in the first place, considering how we're not using the Blood Rainbow due to how unreliable Blood Moons can be. It's not the end of the world, but the Ranger in particular with Stinger Necklace and Bee build is a lot stronger than it is without the Stinger Necklace. We'd still follow the same route, but not having a Sharktooth Necklace could make the Molten Bow a better option. Speaking of, there's this massive pool of lava in the way of my elevator. Had to mine all the way under the thing. Down here, we'll collect a bit of hellstone we need to make the molten bow. And it's nasty. We're not going to use it yet, but we'll also craft the star cannon. And it's nasty. We have everything we need for Skeletron. We're already halfway through the night though, so no time for an arena. Yeet. As the kids say, right? I think they say yeet. See? Maximum bee powers. Shred him. Boom. Not doing as well as I'd hope, but they're doing good enough, and I'm proud of them. Oh, look, the Tavern Keep. I have been looking for you, like, intentionally this time. Nobody ever does that, my guy. Should have appeared. And second hand down. Now we just got ahead that the bees can shred. Yeah. Boom, he's on fire now. You're on fire, and you're getting stung by a million bees. Whew. You are having a rough day, buddy. Ah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Ah. And gone. Boom. Skeletron, more like easy boss. We need 3 things from the dungeon: Shadow Key, Handgun, and enough bones for Necro Armor, which we should be able to collect naturally while searching for the other 2 things. Oh, they're throwing a party. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, hi mechanic. Welcome to the party. Maybe that's why they're throwing the party, because they knew we were going to free the mechanic. It's the mechanic's birthday. Happy birthday, Jenny. Oh, don't die. Ah! Aw. Jenny, you can't die on your birthday. There's a handgun. We've had fossil armor for what feels like forever. Now we finally have an upgrade for it. We are also only missing the aglet in the recipe for crafting frostbark boots. So we're going to run along the surface with a spelunker potion active to see if there are any wooden chests hiding just beneath the surface. Aglet, well that was nice. Thanks, game. About time you started treating me right! We'll mine more Hellstone, but before crafting the Phoenix Blaster, we might as well find the Hellwing Bow while we're down here. And Hellwing Bow! We now have most of our weapons for the Wall of Fresh, Phoenix Blaster, Hellwing Bow, and Star Cannon with Meteor Shot and Hellfire Arrows, but we're not going to fight the wall quite yet. Before entering hard mode, we need to craft a battle standard so we can summon and battle the Goblin Army early in hard mode, to hopefully obtain an early hard mode Shadow Flame Bow. Not one Goblin Scout showed up all day though, so we're going to purchase the final weapon we need, the Quad Barrel Shotgun. Slower than a boomstick while dealing the same amount of damage, but with about twice as many bullets and strong knockback. This thing was made for the wall, and I'll show you why as soon as we collect the tattered cloth we need for this battle standard. But of course, with the battle potion and water candle, they were hardly appearing at all until we made platforms over the ocean, ran to the edge of the world, zoomed in all the way, and then we finally got them to appear occasionally. Before going to the wall, I should also mention that we did purchase the blowgun. I was planning on using it against Skeletron, but forgot. But there really wasn't a reason for using it at all anyways, since Skeletron would have been unaffected by the poison and the base damage is less than the Molten Fury. Now let's finally get into hard mode, where the grinding will inevitably be even worse. I'm always nervous to touch the lava after drinking a water walking potion. I just don't trust it. I'll use this to clear out the hungry. This will just keep them all so far back. The Quad Barrel Shotgun doesn't deal great damage, but with its high knockback and massive bullet spread, it'll be able to keep the clingers far away from me, allowing me to stay at a closer range to the wall. The Hellwing Bow can also serve its purpose in most runs, but its spread isn't nearly as good, and I'm utilizing Hellfire arrows with it. It's arguably better to use wooden arrows so the bow could turn into the piercing fire ones, but with the Hellfire, it has a higher base damage and explodes, which I think is more effective. We grab the Phoenix Blaster because it has high and fast damage and is our best weapon for small spaces. We didn't run into them very often, but for strategies utilizing tunnels or more of the obsidian houses, it shines much more. The Star Cannon comes in at the closer, shredding the last bit of health before the wall has the chance to catch up to me. And boom! Got it! We didn't get the Clockwork Assault Rifle. I kind of think you should be able to shimmer the wall's weapons into one another because farming the wall is obnoxious, with its weapons rarely being worth the effort. The Clockwork Assault Rifle, of all of them, is definitely the best though. We just can't fight it again quite yet because it's night, so, the guide hasn't spawned. Of course, we'll shimmer our emblem into the ranger one, and with the morning, we're going straight into a goblin army. Considering the luck we've had this run, I am Oh, I forgot they do so much more damage now. Okay. I didn't give Goblin Warlock the respect they deserve. They're much stronger than I had anticipated, and since their projectile is the same as the Goblin Sorcerers, it looks like both of them are equally as strong damage-wise. Thankfully, the Goblin Invasion is an event where the boss enemies, or whatever you want to call them, don't run away after dying, or after I die, so we can whittle down this thing's health until it's been defeated. Yes! First one! Oh, thank you. All right. I genuinely forgot that this weapon pierces. That makes it so much better. Now, something to note with the Shadow Flame bow is that the Ice Bow and Marrow are about on tier with it, maybe with the Marrow being better and the Ice Bow being worse. Either three of these would work, but I think the Shadow Flame bow is the easiest to obtain and best of the three. Marrow can take forever without some sort of farm, and I don't like making farms, and Frost Mimics are very hit or miss. Oh, we got harpoons! Oh, no. Oh, dude. Runs over, basically. They ain't got nothing on me anymore. Red hat. Hi guys, my name is James. Welcome to another Terraria video. Now we're breaking these armors and we're going to be keeping an eye out for orichalcum. You could say maybe I shouldn't rely on actually getting this thing, but because you can shimmer any ores like adamantite and titanium, since you can shimmer those to orichalcum no matter what you get, we are freed up to use it without relying on the world's RNG. We could utilize frost armor instead, but blizzards and ice golems can be the absolute worst to wait for and find. We'll farm for it if the opportunity presents itself, but I think orichalcum is the way to go for ranger. Titanium wouldn't make much sense for a ranger, but again, with shimmer you can always get adamantite, which has 6 more defense, 14% more damage, 4% less critical strike, and 14% less movement speed, 25% more ammo conservation, and that's with the benefits of a set bonus taken into account. Orichalcum comes with the extra damage from the petal thing that, according to the wiki, adds about 100 DPS. With these stats in mind, I think the extra movement speed to aid with dodging and the petal's additional damage make orichalcum the better option for ranger. That out of the way, and one more thing that we need to clarify. At the start I said that I didn't want to be farming too much, but that is kind of unavoidable in hard mode, and let's just say pain is in our future. But for now, we're just going to purchase the materials for explosive bullets. They aren't the best thing in the world, but they are the bullet with the highest knockback, which is their main purpose, I think. They keep enemies at bay when they get too close. We're going to be farming both biomimics for a dart rifle and daedalus stormbow, so of course we're going to try to take out any of the ones we come across while mining, but of course it's going to be easier when we have hard mode armor. Before we farm for those hard mode weapons though, let's see if we can get the Clockwork assault rifle. And firecracker again! Yay! 3 fire? Are you kidding me? Guess we won't worry about the assault rifle. Let's just get to farming dark shards for an onyx blaster. Of course, we need souls of night as well, and I learned an easy cheese of biomimics. If you can line it up right before waking up a biomimic for the first time, if you drop lava onto it, it'll continue taking damage. Maybe this is common knowledge, but I actually never knew this. So if you just sit by patiently, it'll die eventually. It's just that once it wakes up and, you know, shuts its trap, they will no longer be taking this damage. So it only works if you do this before they wake up that first time. Wait, why do you wake up? Oh, come on. It was supposed to be a free kill. Let's get 1 freebie. No dart rifle. Onyx Blaster required, we now have the daunting task of farming biomimics, a task that ranges from being barely an inconvenience to being the single longest form of farming in any part of the game. Most often because I end up needing to farm enough souls to summon these things manually. Between farming for these souls, we did get a blizzard where apparently I jumped just a little too high and the one ice golem that spawned vanished into thin air. Thankfully, the biomimics were pretty cooperative. Dart rifle! Oh good, it wasn't that bad. Daedalus Stormbow, let's go! We also obtained a magic quiver during our farming earlier. This could be upgraded into 2 other quivers, neither of which would actually give us much more of a buff unless we equipped multiple quivers at once, which could be absolutely awesome, and maybe we'll do that later. Right now, we're going to do something that's pretty antithetical to everything else we've done thus far. We're going to farm with the Uzi. This weapon has a 1% drop from angry trappers, and yet it seems just as rare as the Rod of Discord sometimes. The idea for this run was to limit farming, but in hard mode, that's unavoidable like I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I think that the Uzi is a worthwhile weapon to farm at this point to get the most use out of it. It's strange if you ask me that this thing is here, as it's just about the only item of use for the ranger in the jungle, unless you consider maybe it'll lead to you accidentally farming for the jungle key to get a piranha gun. Whatever the case, we're in hard mode. Everything is basically grind now anyway, so we're just going to go in the order that seems best. Little did I know that this was going to be the beginning of the endless grind fest that is hard mode.
Battle potions. We have one. Let's use it. Get some angry trappers, please.
Queen bee? What? What the heck?
Dude, water candle and battle potion are a lie.
Are you? There's a what?
You've gotten 20. Wow. And Uzi. Oh. Try farming on the surface. See if we got better luck up here.
Now, why have I shown you all of this? Every angry trapper slain. Because killing this many angry trappers took nearly 2 hours, while frequently using battle potions and water candles to increase spawn rates. I didn't even defeat enough to get a banner. I've arrived at 3 conclusions. 1. Angry trappers spawn more frequently on the surface. 2. There is no point in farming for the Uzi, it's too much pain for so little gain. 3. Water candles and battle potions are a lie we've been fed to by Big Relogic for years, and we all need to open our eyes to this reality and accept that everything in this game is handled by powers beyond our control or understanding. So we're going to abandon the Uzi hunts and farm for some wings. Souls of Flight were no problem, but I didn't have any of the other items for the recipe and was hoping to get enough Souls at Night for demon wings. Oh.
Wait, why did I take fall damage? Wait, do you just take fall damage if you're petrified? Does that like turn back on or something?
We didn't get enough and it's already night, and I want to fight Skeletron Prime.
It'll be fine. Oh, whoa, 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 why am I low on health? Oh, I didn't get full health before coming here. Oh. So many mistakes have been made. Oh, we're so toasted. We're gonna be lightly barbecued and gently sauced.
So now we're going to need to farm for some more souls. Oh, and you might be wondering why we're fighting Skeletron Prime first instead of Destroyer. Well, it's so we can get the Flamethrower. I suppose you could do Destroyer first, but there's a certain weapon I want to use against Destroyer that we can craft after defeating Prime, and maybe also the twins. The pirates showed up during the soul farming. Before you ask, no, we were not farming for the coin gun. That's more of a gimmick than a real weapon if you ask me. After all, I need the money for my more important things like reforging all of the gear to Warning, Menacing, or Lucky, whatever we get first. For this next battle, I equipped 2 magic quivers and tried using the Daedalus Stormbow. It was decently effective, but I still stuck with Dart Rifle and Shadow Flame Bow for the most part. The weird thing, in my opinion, is that I still lost. Skeletron Prime isn't that difficult, but then again, Prime always seems to cause a problem when you don't have knockback immunity. And yeah, that fixed the problem right there. Now we can craft the Flamethrower. We make some houses, buy some empty bullets, and then some cogs from the newly appeared steampunk to craft high velocity bullets. We still aren't fighting Destroyer, however. First, we were taking down the twins, not because they drop anything useful, but because this is when it felt right to me to get some good use out of the Flamethrower and the high velocity bullets to defeat the twins. Now the mechs I think can be done in a bunch of different ways and orders. This is just one I chose because it's different. Taking down the destroyer with Daedalus or dart rifle to then make a mega shark using crystal bullets is another option that feels like you're using the weapons in a proper order, especially if you take down Prime second to make a flamethrower and use that against twins. Flamethrower is also good against destroyer too. You can really mix and match it a lot, so don't worry too much about the order I went in because the right way to play ranger against mechs is just about anyway.
Now, let me show you what happens when we decide to destroy a destroyer. And goodbye. That did not do as much damage as it's done before. I am so confused. All right, well, we still shredded half of its health. But there we go.
Anyways, we made the hollowed armor and the repeater does a lot of single target damage, but that's no reason to not farm for the Mega Shark. It's too much of a classic to totally ignore, and after zooming in, helped with getting the Goblin Scouts to spawn. We tried it again for sharks, and it sure did seem to help. Crafting the pickaxe, we get to work on mining chlorophyte, and the Mega Shark with high velocity bullets is pretty great. Now the ranger between mechs and Plantera is very simple. Make chlorophyte armor, the shot bow, and arrows. One thing you may not know is that chlorophyte arrows bounce, and so even if you miss, it's likely you won't when underground fighting a boss like Plantera. And I guess more specifically, they don't just bounce, but I'm pretty sure they bounce towards the target. Not nearly as well as nanite bullets, but they still do so. During second phase, we use a mix of the shot bow and flamethrower to take down the plants, and now there is a treasure trove of ranger weapons to farm for, with the first one being a guaranteed drop from Plantera.
Grenade launcher!
We also want the Venus Magnum, but the second Plantera didn't drop one.
Reload, can you please make so Plantera drops a thing that you can use to summon Plantera again? Like, sure, you can make us find the bulb the first time, but can we have can it drop like petals or something we can then use to make more summons so it's more of a farmable boss?
This was not a request that came out of nowhere either, because we searched the jungle for another 20 minutes trying to find another bulb so we can farm the thing. I really wanted the Magnum for hard mode dungeon farming, but we'll make do with the Mega Shark. What are we looking for in the dungeon? The tactical shotgun, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, and rifle scope. Plus the ectoplasm required for moon event summons, but we'll get enough of that passively for sure while farming for the other things. This is also the point of regression that we will be crafting Shroomite armor. There's also a rocket variant I didn't know existed that costs 1 Shroomite bar per 100 rockets. It's a lot of rockets and they are strong, but using Shroomite bars to craft them makes them pricey. Here's the thing with Shroomite armor. To get a real big bonus, you need to stand still.
Ooh, who's talking to you? You don't know. I'm invisible. Ooh, it's a ghost, a ghost.
And I'm sure standing still will work great when face to face with a sniper. On top of this, one thing I never realized with Shroomite armor is that you need to stop moving, not shoot, and then shoot after you turn invisible or somewhere along the process. I knew Shroomite was obnoxious to use, but I didn't know it was this bad. Who has the time to come to a full stop before shooting? That's just giving everything the chance to cream you, especially bosses. To give it some credit, it was helpful at certain points while farming in the dungeon, but as a whole, it was a pain to use, and its placement and progression is really weird. Never do you have more variety in the Ranger class, and the armor the game seems to want you to make is the one that forces you to only use one type of weapon rather than the awesome variety. I even tried using Shroomite against Plantera, and yes, I'm using the right helmets, I'm just keeping the arrows one on hand in the vanity slot, but this went poorly.
Shroomite armor, it sucks, man.
Something that was really cool that I discovered during this run is the proximity mine launcher, something that is probably a criminally underutilized weapon. This is purchased from the Cyborg, and what's unique about it is that the rockets it shoots don't explode until it hits an enemy, or after a couple minutes. The mine will land, and if not touched, will turn invisible. When it does, if an enemy touches it, the damage of that rocket is tripled. It can be hard to use, but before entering a fight, you can easily set down a bunch of them as traps for free extra damage. You do need to be a little careful though. You can touch them and be fine, but if they reach the time limit and explode on their own while you're standing next to them, they will deal damage to you just like other rockets. Now it took over an hour just to get the tactical shotgun because the shotgun skeletons simply were not spawning. As for the sniper rifle and scope,
got 3 sniper rifles and no scopes.
That 1 hour is now up to 2 hours. And all that's happened is we've gotten 1 more sniper rifle, bringing us to 5.
All right, guys, this is what I need you to do. I need you to start liking the stream as much as possible, because as we all know, liking the stream increases my luck. So please start liking the stream so we can escape this sniper scope purgatory. Did they like the stream enough? They liked it enough for another sniper rifle! I quit! Are you kidding me? 5 sniper rifles!
Did we farm more? Yes. Did we get the sniper scope? Well,
found a scope. Where could that have? Wow.
Before we fight the Pumpkin Moon, we collected enough life fruit for full health and was forced to fight the pirates again. Now, what do we want from the Pumpkin Moon? The Stake Launcher, Candy Corn Rifle, and Jack-O-Lantern Launcher. None of these weapons are really known for being good or worthwhile, but this is the only phase of progression that they could possibly be useful. So here we are, utilizing the scope on the sniper rifle and Shrew My Armor to pretty easily clear the early waves until Hellhounds start spawning. Despite my best efforts, we weren't able to defeat a single pumpkin. With Shrew My Armor losing its effectiveness after the first couple of waves, we switched back to Glorified Armor. I want to believe in Shroomite, but I just don't think it's good. At least, not now. It has uses for sure, but I feel like I'd be much better off not using Shroomite armor and using the great variety of weapons to their fullest. With Glorified Armor, a heavier use of proximity mine launchers, and the tactical shotgun with nanite bullets against Pumpkin, we managed to take down one, who drops a whopping absolute nothing! Yay! On a 10-3, we have a Scarecrow banner and find the rocket launcher to be more effective than the proximity mine launcher because it's not able to set up mines when there's too many enemies. This leads us to defeating another pumpkin and finally getting our first drop from one.
Raven staff.
But thankfully, that was not the only pumpkin I was able to defeat.
Oh good, the candy corn rifle. Oh, we got one.
Now, I always figured that this weapon was basically useless, and any other weapon would be better, but I'm actually surprised by how it's performing. It's even better against Morning Woods than most of my other weapons, rivaling even the rocket launcher. The main downside is that it's primarily useful when fighting enemies on the ground. With its bouncing and 3 pierces, it's better against invasions than I give it credit for. With this Pumpkin Moon, we took down another pumpkin that dropped nothing, and then a second one.
Please be lucky, that's not lucky! No!
The nail gun drop from the solar eclipse, I totally missed that. I still wanted the stake launcher and jack-o'-lantern launcher from the Pumpkin Moon, but we've already fought that event 4 times. As much as I'd like to have given the other weapons a shot, we've been grinding long enough for the sniper scope and Uzi that more grinding just doesn't sound appealing anymore. So instead, we'll fight Golem with the snail gun, and something I never knew about it was that it deals an initial small amount of damage on contact, sticks to the target, and then explodes a few seconds later, dealing a lot more damage. The explosion has a pretty small radius, so it's not the best for area of effect. Even Golem's fist and core might be too far apart to double up the damage, but the fact that the nails stick to even the ground and explode to deal damage means very few nails go to waste. Of all my weapons, it sure seemed to deal the most against Golem.
And please drop the stinger. And yes! Oh, first try! Oh, thank you! Oh, finally got some mercy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we need the Golem eye. Oh, it's not over yet. We do need to kill Golem again for the eye, which is, you know, a rare drop. All right, give me a Golem eye, please. No! Golem eye this time. No, but we got another stinger. Die, die, die. Still no Golem eye. That was our last thing. We love farming. We love farming. Oh wait, hold up. We're losing Nightlight for Frost Moon. There it is. Oh, we got the chain gun. Hey, at least we got lucky on that drop. That's nice. I feel like we've actually been making good progress on this, and it's not enough. Not that impressive. For how much noise it's making, this isn't really great. Still no Golem eye. I love that. No, 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 no! Vilify me, no! Oh, there it is. Oh. Snowman cannon! Oh, dude! Oh, we actually got lucky.
That was a lot, and we still don't have the Gulamai. I have found that the chain gun is a fine weapon, not the best ever, but it does a good job, and the elf melter had a surprise in store for me. I always figured it was pretty useless because it's short range and unremarkable damage, make it subpar against the bosses at this point of progression, but that was before I knew it inflicted the frostbite debuff. I always assumed it was the frostburn one. Frostburn does 8 damage per second, frostbite does 25, so if nothing else, it's great to switch to for that extra debuff damage. We're also fighting Fishron because of course we want a tsunami. I just need to remember how to properly dodge that third phase. Wasn't able to make too many chlorophyte bullets though, so we need to mine more ore because Ranger consumes all of our resources and our wallet. We'll grab a few more truffles, fail Fishron third phase a second time, and then figure it out on the third attempt where we get the bubble gun. Fun fact, this is not a ranged weapon. That's fine. How long could it realistically take to get the tsunami anyways?
Tsunami! Yay!
The tsunami with chlorophyte arrows makes defeating Golem faster, but our good luck with Frost Queens and Duke Fishron have not carried over to the sentient clay.
Whole farming thing hasn't been very eye-opening. I've had enough of this. I've had way. I'm done. No more. Oh, this world. Actually, I don't think this one got into hard mode. Actually, I think this is the one where I first played Summoner. First played Summoner, first played Master Mode. Wait, what? Oh, dude. This might be like my oldest world. Oh, now I'm going down memory lane. Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Wait, I have a golem bag in my that I haven't opened. Okay, it didn't have it. Wow. Would you look at that? We got the thing we were going after. Whoop-de-doo! Yay! Huzzah!
This is the part where I should clarify once again that this run is in no way meant to be optimal, and I would strongly recommend you don't emulate what I did. We're just trying to look at everything that's available and follow the line of progression that seems to be drawn by them, and since Ranger has a million things, it's resulted in farming a stupid amount of stuff, including pretty rare drops. No person playing Ranger needs half of these things post-Plantera, but obtaining them has helped me, and hopefully you, learn how strong some of these weapons actually are, and what they could be useful for. Whether you personally find them useful in your own playthroughs is another question. On the bright side, there's only one last thing to farm for. On the downside, that one thing is the Eventide bow dropped from the Empress of Light. I still think Relogic should let Lacewing spawn during the entire night because Finding more than one of these things, even with battle potions and water candles, is almost impossible. Farming this boss can truly be a pain, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that I, of all people, would be well acquainted with that fact. The only reason I can think of for them not letting Lacewing spawn the entirety of the night is that if you accidentally killed a Lacewing really late in the night, then you'd get a surprise daytime Empress, but I mean, that could be a good way of actually learning that that even exists, so I think it's fine. But thank Jesus Christ the Lord on the throne most high that after we failed our first battle, we beat her on the second.
First try, eventide. Oh my goodness, actually, first try. Hot diggity dog.
Now, you might have noticed that we didn't fight the Martians. Well, I would like to, but getting saucers to spawn takes longer than waiting for the second coming of Christ. I did grab a Xenopopper and Electrosphere launcher from another world just to try them out, but they are in a really weird spot. They're post-Golem, so when are you supposed to get these things? Are you meant to fight Plantera, go straight to Golem, and then farm the moons and Martians and stuff immediately after? That kind of makes the Candy Corn Rifle irrelevant, and also the one use I had thought of for the Jack-O-Lantern launcher, because the Electrosphere launcher is primarily good against events, and if you do the moons re-Golem, then you don't have any events other than the Martians themselves left. So I guess it's good for the old one's army, so there's something. The Xenopopper just doesn't seem to belong here in progression either, it's just not good. All the events feel pretty interchangeable with each other, which might be what Relogic was going for, and makes some sense. It's just that I can't find a reason for the Ranger to ever farm the Martians despite there being two weapons for them there. The Eventide Bow, meanwhile, does feel worthwhile with great damage and super fast arrows. It's even pretty good at shredding pillars, but that's something half of Ranger's weapons at this point can do. Now we just have the two Vortex weapons remaining, and I just now noticed that the Phantasm Bow shoots an extra projectile. It's got a lot going on in the background, actually. Its fire rate gradually increases while in use, and on enemy hits, it fires an additional 3 Phantasm arrows. These arrows home in on the target and move through blocks, so they deal 30% of the original projectile's damage, but it also shoots 3 of them, so that's almost doubling every single arrow. So if you can reliably hit your targets, that's a lot of damage. People use the Vortex Beater for obvious reasons, and it feeds into the Ranger stereotype of running away and holding left click. It's really good, but the Phantasm definitely does more damage when you position yourself properly. And that wraps up the Ranger class. I hope you learned a little something about the class. I know I definitely did while doing this run. It's a very interesting class and more fun than people give it credit for, but maybe I'll need to make a separate video about that. The problem, as I see it, is that people follow the same route and weapons every single time, and rarely engage with the more interesting options, largely because the more interesting stuff is harder to use or much more grindy to obtain, while being only a mild improvements, if one at all, compared to the easier to obtain counterparts. It could use a little more love, or maybe it's exactly where it should be, and people just need to get used to more fully exploring their options. But I'm still going to take a crack at fixing this class in the video you're seeing right here, but if it hasn't released yet, then the video that's actually there right now is one on how we haven't been playing the mage class right this whole time.